Eric Horn here with Brett Dawson after Game 2 of the Thunder season, the season opener at the Peak. Final score, Thunder 113, Phoenix Suns 110, and it was the Russell Westbrook show tonight.
It was a major Russell Westbrook show, a 50-point triple-double, which the NBA has seen one time before, I believe, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It's pretty good company to be in.
Yeah, 51 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists for Russell Westbrook in an overtime victory. I think he had, let's see over here, 46 minutes of play.
And 44 shots.
44 shots for Russell Westbrook, eclipsing his career high for shot attempts. That was back in 2015 during the Kevin Durant injury season, where Westbrook had 43 shot attempts and for a career high 54 points. Basically, Westbrook didn't have the greatest first half. I mean, he was about 4-16 shooting in the first half, and then he really took over in the third quarter when he scored 23 points in the third quarter, and that ended up being a franchise record for points in a quarter for the Thunder, and they needed every one of them.
They did. He also had 8 assists, I think, in the first half, and ended up with 10. As the game wore on and Phoenix kind of kept their distance, kept a little bit of a cushion. Thunder had a lot of ground to make up. Westbrook really took over, scored 14 straight points at one point in that third quarter. He wasn't really looking to involve other guys, but when the game was on the line and things mattered, he actually did make some really important passes.
Yeah, and in that third quarter where he scored the 14 straight points, a lot of that came off of getting a rebound or immediately getting the ball from a teammate off of a defensive rebound and going coast to coast. He had 3 coast-to-coast layups in that third period. And for the Thunder, you know, it's a good win in a sense that, I mean, this was a team in the Suns that came in, it was just red hot from the field in the first quarter. They scored 40 points. The Thunder's defense was gashed on the inside and from the perimeter. TJ Warren had a career high in points. I think he had about 30 points. And the Suns really came out hot, and the Thunder's defense came around from the second quarter on. And particularly Andre Robertson had a big defensive game in the overtime, and for the second game in a row for the Thunder.
He did. They did a nice job on Devin Booker after the start. He got off to a really good start and really wasn't a huge factor late. He had the baseline at the end. Robertson came over and blocked his shot in what would have been a really important play. Robertson is a guy who, you know, we saw the same things with Victor Oladipo in the first game. Guy just not making shots, but he sticks with it, and he makes big plays at the end when it matters at the other end of the floor.
A big bounce-back game for Victor Oladipo as well tonight. He had 21 points. He was really the guy who carried the Thunder's offense early in that first quarter, where Westbrook wasn't exactly in flow just then. I think he only made 2 shots in the first quarter. Thunder's now 2-0. They've won the games that they're supposed to against these teams, these younger, less skilled teams, and basically they're going into this weekend with a chance to be 3-0 going into this critical road trip, or I would say critical because it's the beginning of the season, but a very highly anticipated road trip against the Clippers and Golden State next week to start November. Here's some commentary from Russell Westbrook, Billy Donovan, and Victor Oladipo.
He did, you know, all the way through, and certainly we didn't get off to the start that we wanted to get off to, and give them credit. They played with a lot of energy. They shot the ball extremely well. We dug ourselves a real big hole in that first quarter. It was great to see our guys fight to go back into the game at the end of the second. You know, I thought from an offensive standpoint, you know, we're trying not to skip steps, so to speak, in terms of trying to implement and put in a system. And for our team, I think there's a lot of different lineups that we need to look at. So, you know, playing a little bit in Philly with Steven and Ennis big, we hadn't really had a chance to do much of that because of Steven's injury in the preseason. We didn't really have an opportunity to play small either. We've got, you know, a basic package in, and I thought, you know, we went to that, and we weren't able to necessarily, I think we'll add more, but there was a very limited package what we had. I thought Russell really did a great job and took what the defense gave him. The way they play with Chandler, he's a great drop defender, and he's going to give you those 15, 16-foot pull-up jump shots, and I've got confidence in Victor and Russ taking those shots. I didn't like in the first half that 41% of our total number of shots were from non-paying twos, but that's kind of what they do. They press up on the perimeter, and they want to try to funnel you into the middle, and they'll give you that 15-foot shot. So I thought we took some of those shots when they were open, and I also thought we got it to the rim when we needed to. But I thought offensively we were somewhat vanilla, and I don't think it has anything to do with our guys. It's more to do with, I think, just trying not to skip steps and put in packages for different lineups. But it's certainly not fully evolved in terms of having everything in. But our guys, the way they competed, I was really, really proud of that.
This quarter, what do you think is a result of this team to just battle back?
It's a long game, man. Real long game. You know, I just went in the huddle and just told them, you know, man, if they're going to let us back in the game, we just got to stay focused and just keep pushing, you know, keep getting stops, and that's what we did. Luckily, we got the best player in the world, so be all right.
Speaking of which, he's the first guy to have a 50-point triple-double since Kareem in 1975. What do you think about that?
It's about time. I'm not shocked. Man, like I told the guys when I walked in here, you know what I mean? Not being here, you hear a lot about him. You hear a lot of rumors. You hear a lot of things. But sitting by him and working with him every day, and building a friendship with him every day, you realize what type of man he truly is. And this dude right here wants to win more than anybody in the world. And he'll do anything to do that. The misconception of what he used to be or what he is false. This coming from me, who's been with him. I was with him for 2 months straight in the summertime and been with him since. And just looking in his eyes, talking to him, you just see how smart he is, what type of basketball player he is. And he'll do anything to win.
You guys have won back-to-back games now, rallying there in the fourth quarter and winning in overtime tonight. What does that say about this team, how strong you guys can be down the stretch?
It's huge, man. Firm believer in if you learn how to finish games now, you'll be able to finish games.
At that point where you're finding teammates more, like you say, is that just a time thing, or is that?
No, I mean, I do it. You know, it's part of my job. It's what I do. But I'll constantly keep making the right plays and do whatever it takes for us to win the game, and you know, that's what I'll do.